Imagine this, you boot up Valorant planning a quick deathmatch to warm up before ranked. Your friend invites you to duo, and you might think, alright, I don't need to warm up this time, I got it. You try to lock in, but you end up missing every single shot. Now you're stuck in a frustrating game you were never ready for. If you want to play consistently, you also need to practice consistently, and that means having a set routine. Don't just hop on and start playing. You need to be at 100% every time if you want real improvement. So let's break down the warm-up routine of G2's Valen, the IGL of the current #1 team in the world, and let's see what we can learn from it. Start your day with full body and wrist stretches to boost blood flow and prep your hands for aiming. Then move into aim warm-ups, covering flicking, tracking, and spraying. Valen tracks bots for smoothness, then he follows strafing bots to sharpen reactions. He also focuses heavily on crosshair placement, calmly pre-aiming angles in TDM instead of chasing flashy flicks. He doesn't go for the highest number of kills, but instead, he's focusing on warming up his crosshair placement and clearing angles precisely. One final thing most people ignore is warming up their movement. Valen builds the habit of AD strafing to dodge bullets and practices different peaks to stay sharp. In short, if you want real improvement and consistent aim, don't skip your warm-up. Spend at least 15 minutes to warm up before ranked so that you can enter every match at 100% capacity. But all that consistent practice won't mean a thing if you crack under pressure. Sure, you can deathmatch until your hands bleed, but if you freeze up during gunfights when your RR is on the line, all that practice will go out the door. Which brings us to the 5th reason why you whiff: not knowing how to react to panic. There's no magic fix to panic. You can meditate, visualize, or breathe all you want, but Valorant will always throw you into high-stress situations. One way to avoid panicking is to expect enemies to be in that specific position. But as we all know, even the pros will get surprised by an unexpected enemy. The difference is actually in how they react. If you get surprised, which will happen, you need to react by moving and buying time. Watch how top players like Us+ react when they're caught off guard. He pushes through tower and sees the brimstone. His first reaction, instantly dodge by sliding to the right, and while sliding, he adjusts his aim, locking onto his head so that when he's finally accurate, he can easily secure the kill. This dodges the enemy's shots and buys him vital time to adjust his aim. Now, even if you don't play Neon and you can't slide to avoid getting shot, don't freeze up and start panic shooting in these scenarios. What you need to do instead is to keep strafing or moving unpredictably so that the enemy might whiff some shots. You'll buy enough time to actually align your crosshair and turn that critical situation into a frag. And that's how you turn panic into an outplay. The player who keeps their cool, controls their movement, and takes their time usually wins the fight. Now with those 5 tips, you feel like you've finally mastered your aim. You're cool, calm, and composed in every scenario. But somehow, you're still whiffing. What's the deal with that? Well, maybe you're not actually whiffing. If you peek into 3 people and don't get a kill, maybe your aim wasn't the problem. We've all had that teammate. The Inslog Jet who sprints down B main on defense, peeks into 5 players, and feeds every round. You tell him to chill, but all he says is, oh, I'm just whiffing. But here's the truth. If you need to be prime 10s just to win a fight, it was a bad play before you even peaked. Great players create their advantage, not through their aim alone, but through smart setups and decisions. First of all, you need to use your kit. Even Reyna, one of the most aim-heavy agents, has tools to make fights easier. Flashing before swinging, or dismissing before getting traded. The same goes for every other role. Sentinels should set up trips in high-pressure choke points to punish careless players. Duelists should combine flashes and movement abilities to create blindsided duels. Controllers can smoke off half the site, forcing isolated gunfights. And initiators can crack open angles with drones and flashes, making impossible fights free. So the next time you're pushing out, don't just dry peek and pray. Call for util from your teammates and you'll be able to turn a 50-50 fight into a easy secured kill. If you follow all 6 of these steps, you're gonna stop whiffing, not just in practice, but when it matters most. But fixing whiffs is just one part of the bigger picture. If you want the full blueprint on how the pros move, aim, and dominate every single fight, make sure to check out my full 46-minute mechanics guide. It's packed with everything you need to know to take your aim and your entire mechanics to the next level. Thanks for watching.